guys, Sam, Jack. Jack, I've been emailing you back and forth for the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sam, hello, nice to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you.
And we'll get right down to it. Yeah, there's a couple of events that you guys plot and plan around the Manchester area. And according to my voluminous notes, Gomageddon was the recent one.
Gormageddon we did in March, but more recent than that we did back in May. There was the Death Grind show with Holocausto Cannibal, Basement Torch Killing, Anime Torment, and Nasty Git.
Yeah, so you've got quite a few things on the go there. You've got one coming up as well. You've got Unusual Horror, which is this week.
Yeah, this Friday. This Friday.
Yeah, Friday.
It's Friday, so we'll try and get this up before then. Just for those of you who are watching it, we're recording this on the Tuesday. Are there still tickets available for that?
Yeah. At the moment, there's still tickets, and there will be some on the door as well.
Smashing. That's on at the Star and Garter, yeah?
Absolutely.
At 5 o'clock on Friday night.
That's the one.
So it's almost like I read stuff. And then the big one, which you have been pushing a bit, is the tail end of this month on the 27th, which is at Rebellion in Manchester.
It's the 26th and 27th.
26th and 27th, yeah. And that's Offal Fest.
Yeah, that's the one.
It's a huge one. So before we talk about the events individually, in a bit more detail, how long have you guys been promoting gigs and getting bands to make horrible, nasty noises for people?
I'll let Sam take this one at first.
Right. So pre-COVID, I used to do this with another couple of other people under a different promotion company name, which was Vivisection Promotion. We didn't really do anything other than maybe some like small Manchester-based things, like a gig sort of here and there, but mostly just putting on our friends' bands. Like if they'd started a band, we were like, oh well, if you're looking for a gig, we'll put you on. And then then COVID happened, and obviously there was an absolute, just every gig got decimated. No one could leave the house, and everyone sat at home and played and wrote loads of new and good music. And I think I just sort of sat there bored in my bedroom one day and just went, what's a festival that I'd love to see happen in Manchester? And came up with what was the original sort of inception of Offal Fest, which probably went under some other cringy name for a bit because it's brutal death metal. It has to be a bit cringy, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, you can't take extreme gory death metal seriously. If you do, there's issues.
Yeah, I very much agree with that. And that's coming from someone who is in a band who plays extreme gory music. You can't take it seriously. But it sort of started off as me just going. I just started making festival posters in my room and sending them to my friends and sort of going, how funny would this be if how cool would this be? Like, these bands playing together, it'd be awesome. And then it slowly but surely turned into me going, but what if I actually tried to do that? So it was initially meant to be 2 stages in one day with something like there was like 26 bands on it or something, which was never going to happen. It was maybe like 13 bands per stage, and then you'd alternate stage time. So as soon as one finished, one would start. So you'd never be without music. And then after a while, I realized I was sort of in over my head doing this by myself for a bit. I tried, God help me, I tried, but I knew nothing about advertising on Facebook other than to just get into all of my local friends. So that's where Jack came in, because I knew that he did that with his brand Unusual Horror, and he knew all the tricks under the sun about getting things out on Facebook. And then that's when the original Offal Fest that happened last year sort of slowly came to be after a couple of delays and dropouts and additions and so on and so forth.
Yeah, we had quite a nightmare so Offal Fest was originally supposed to happen for the first one in 2022. But we had a lot of issues with the venue. They like guaranteed a certain capacity and then ended up saying that they could no longer honor that. And it was like a couple of weeks before. So we were like, shit, like all hands on deck. What do we do? Sam contacted Rebellion and we got a date sorted for the following March. So 2023 last year.
Yeah.
And it was absolutely insane. I'm so glad that we did push it back because the original capacity was supposed to be like 150.
Yeah.
But the extra time that we got allowed me to do what I what I do best. Just go like absolutely mental with the advertising, and we ended up taking in like 200 people on the day, 250. So it's a good thing that we did upgrade it, because it never would have happened at that capacity otherwise. And it gave Guttural Slug the absolute best first show that they could have had.
Just out of interest, so we hold our own festival at the tail end of the year in October. Do you tend to find that on the festival you get people kind of creeping in over the course of the day, or do you tend to find you get a lot of people arrive at the beginning to watch everything? It's the old supporting support acts thing.
It was a bit of a weird one. I think that first Offal Fest, it being our first ever one, I don't think we were I think we were expecting things to sort of build up as the day went on, but then
especially because most of the first few bands that were on were like really small following.
It was either like first ever show, or like I've only maybe like played 2 or 3 here and there, and so we like sort of doing that, where we have like bands who are just starting out, you know, sort of kicking the whole thing off, and then it sort of picks up as you get through the day. But yeah, there was, I think for the first band, we probably brought in just under 100 people within that first hour.
It was,
and there was a line down the street from the entrance, which I definitely neither of us could have expected at all from what we'd seen online, which was a little bit of talk here and there, and we knew what ticket sales were like, but we weren't expecting people to be there as soon as.
It was absolutely crazy, because I was doing all the merch for the first one, and I got there a bit late, and I was like running a bit behind. And I was like almost ready to go for 11 when doors opened, and I can remember just like turning around and trying to like fish through some boxes, trying to work out where stuff was. Turned back, and there was a line of 20 people, and I was like, shit. Did not expect that at all. And I was like, right, okay, guys, give me 2 seconds, go and grab a drink or something. And everyone just stood there, and I was like, right, I'll start throwing stuff at people, see what happens. But it worked. You could not have expected that at all.
It's a good kind of problem to have, though.
Absolutely.
And how do you find the balance between ticket sales and on the door? Because I know this is something that a message you want to try and get out to people, and it's something you need to be aware of. Is booking your tickets in advance makes these events go ahead. If you don't get tickets in advance, there does come a point for most events where they just have to go, look, we're expecting 200, we've sold 15, we know 190 of you have said you'll turn up on the day, but you've got fees and stuff to pay. Are you finding you're getting a decent amount in advance that's keeping you nice and comfy? Or is there still that little 5p, 50p clenching your bum cheeks waiting for people to turn up on the day?
I think I'll take this one, because I'm managing the ticket sales. I think absolutely. Like, it's really hard to gauge stuff. We want to announce things early, so people have got like a lot of time to prepare for things. I think the first Offal Fest lineup, like up until the day that happened, it was like a year and a half of like when we first started advertising and promoting it up until like the event actually happening. So there was loads of time for people to buy tickets, but we found that it took until like a month before for the numbers really to start coming in. We were worried about like having to kick some bands off the lineup, because we didn't think that we could afford to go to the scale that we did. We had to pull back quite a lot of stuff to be able to make it work, and then just swarmed in the last minute. We had that with the tour that we put on last year. Terrible ticket sales up until like a month before, and then everything swarmed in. Gormageddon is a fantastic one. A month, I think it was like 3 weeks before the gig was supposed to happen. Mind you, we were flying in 3 bands from different European countries. £15 tickets. I think it was like 3 weeks before they'd sold 30 tickets in advance. And then within the last 2-3 weeks, somehow sold another 100. And it was one of those where we weren't going to cancel it, but it was like getting really concerning and having to like pull a lot of stuff back and like have the serious conversation of, do we go ahead with it? Thankfully, Offal Fest has been quite steady this year, like throughout the whole timeline. But it's
there are still tickets. Please buy them.
Yeah, there is still tickets. Please do buy them. Like, we're looking good, but like I'd rather not be sat here saying we're looking all right. I'd rather be sat here just saying like all of these concerns are off my brain. We're looking fantastic. Everything's going to be great. Rather than hearing people say like, oh, I was going to buy tickets a month ago, but now I don't know if I can. It's like buying when you can. Absolutely. Like, festivals are gigs and stuff, they're not a requirement. You don't have to go to them. Absolutely buy them when you are ready. I know that people have financial issues, like things are expensive. Absolutely, fully understand that. But like a lot of it is, if you want these lineups to continue happening, if you want gigs to keep coming to your city, keep coming to your town, these festivals to keep coming around, you do kind of have to like help that thing out as well. It's definitely a two-way street. I don't expect everyone to go to every show. Absolutely not. But like,
go to yours.
Like, these things are like it is give or take. You have to go to these shows because you always see people, and one of the best examples that I can give is you always see people commenting on bands posts like, "Oh, come to this city, come to this town," and it's like you have to talk to your promoter and convince them that they should put the money in to bring that band over. And if you're not going to local shows, why should they spend more money to bring a bigger band over?
Yeah,
it's transactional. It always has been, but I think a lot of people don't seem to understand that.
Yeah, it's unfortunate in that a lot of bands love playing live. I mean, it's probably one of the reasons. I mean, Sam, you're saying you're in a band yourself, and it'd be one of the things you probably like is getting in front of an audience and getting that feedback and getting that buzz. And it's, I mean, you look at most of the bands that you go and see live. At the end of a set, they've got the biggest smiles on their faces, but you still have to put food on the table. And if you're at the point where you're the whole pay to play kind of thing, you're paying the fuel and you're turning up the gigs and you're paying to do your hobby, it does start to eat in a bit because, as you said, things are expensive. If you're a local band playing a local venue, fine, you're giving up your evening. That's okay-ish, in the fact that really what you're giving up is your skill and your expertise. But if you're driving from the bottom end of the country, Brighton to Manchester, or as you said yourself, you're flying bands in from outside the country, that's a large outlay, and that needs to be covered. And that's an area where I think people need to realise that supporting your bands is great. Buy the CDs, buy the music. Don't stream that shit. Buy the t-shirts, and go and see them live. And of course, buy the merch when you're there as well, because that's the petrol money and so forth. So support the music scene is all about going to see bands live, I think. And again, it supports guys like yourselves as well. And there's a lot of work that goes into putting these shows on, which I think people maybe don't realise. Have you had any really good stories when you've been putting these shows on, where you've had like a nice pleasant surprise, like you've told me before, like the huge queue outside the door, like bands who've agreed to turn up?
Yes.
You thought there's no way they'll agree, we'll ask them anyway, anything like that?
So that was actually how we that was a big thing for this year's headliner, to Violently Vomit. To anyone in the know, obviously they know they are. To anyone who doesn't, To Violently Vomit is members of the Californian death metal band Disgorge. And they are essentially a tribute band to Disgorge. So for reasons within the band, at the moment they obviously they can't use the name Disgorge because Ricky, their drummer, is currently on the road with Suffocation. He's their vocalist. So from one strength to another strength, he's an amazing drummer, but he's also an absolutely demonic vocalist. I think he's like the perfect frontman for them currently. He's absolutely killing it. But so To Violently Vomit was I've always wanted. Disgorge are one of my favorite bands. Absolutely love them. Can't fault them in the slightest. And I knew that To Violently Vomit was sort of doing shows here and there, but didn't know what it'd take. And originally we'd sort of asked around a couple of bands from that area, and then ended up sort of me going down the path of, well, could we try maybe make this happen? And just as you know what, I'm just going to go out on a limb. I don't think it'll happen, but sometimes you don't ask, you don't get. Exactly. I feel like that's how you end up with some of the amazing bands that we get on this. To Violently Vomit was one of them. Bringing them to the UK for probably the first time in, I want to say it's been about 10, 15 years or something like that.
I think
it might not be that long, but
the last one was either 2017 or 2019. I can't remember. It's a long time either way.
No, okay, right. Maybe not 10, 15 years.
7 or 8 still a long time. Yeah.
But it was, I think the last time people have said was when Disgorge were support for Cryptopsy, and that was quite well. And that was on their return, I want to say. So that probably would have been about 2015, 2016 then. Something like that. But yeah, with them, Vulvectomy playing this year, that was a
first
big
ever UK show.
big thing. But even outside the realm of bands, as like a big surprise, shout out to the Canadian Banana Man Dre.
Absolutely.
Last year, I sort of knew of the guy through Instagram a little bit, but yeah, he specifically for last year flew all the way from Canada
Well,
on his own
solo
to come to the show. And he enjoyed himself that much, and getting to meet him was fantastic. He's an awesome guy. And yeah, so he's decided to come back this year, and he's staying in Manchester for around about a month or so.
Fantastic.
Around the festival. He's actually the opening band on the show this Friday. So,
yeah, he is.
Plug for his band, Mega Fart. Best band name I've ever come across.
I am going to have to look that one up on Spotify later on.
And if anyone who does come to the show, please buy a shirt from him.
Yeah, there's not often where you can get a t-shirt that says Mega Fart on it.
It is not. No, I wish I lived near Manchester now. It seems that Star and Garter seems to be one of your favorite venues. You put a few shows on there.
I think
I love it.
It's a fantastic venue. It's like a pinnacle of the Manchester metal scene. There's been so many fantastic shows that have happened there over the years, like bands that are now like worldwide stadium touring bands, but also it's just
Bring Me the Horizon have played there.
Bring Me the Horizon have played there. I'm pretty
Sleep
sure
Token have played there.
Yep.
Now Mega Fart.
It's such a pinnacle of the scene, but I think like for me it's like it's the face of like metal and stuff like that, because it's a pub, it's a venue on top of a pub. It's one where like the patrons that go in, the owners of the venue, all some of the soundest and nicest people that you know, and it's just a perfect vibe. I think the chance to put shows on in pubs is like not something that you can really do that much these days, and that venue's been around for so long now. I think it deserves the love, and like that's why we've said like for Gormageddon every year going forward, or for as long as it's viable, we're going to keep putting it on in Star and Garter, even though next year like the plans that we've got is it's going to outsell it, but I can't not put it in that pub. Special place, that venue.
Yeah, that's nice. Cause again, you know what you're aiming for, and if you know you've got the big bands in, a sellout gig means you can budget.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That makes it so much better.
Yeah, I mean, there's an argument for stepping up to another venue, but there's also an argument for filling out one that you're familiar with and which you've got a lot of respect for as well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How do you go about choosing the bands? Because I mean, the extreme scene and the grind and all this kind of stuff, there are a lot of bands out there. How do you go about picking the ones on a particular year? Is it down to their tour cycles? Is it down to you want to just go with your favorites?
I mean, I can't speak for Jack, but I just open my wardrobe and just sort of pick about 10 t-shirts out and just go, yeah, that looks good. That's me. It's whatever I've been listening to on Spotify a lot. Me just sort of going, am I being cheeky and messaging a band that hasn't played a show in this many years, or I just really like this band, I hope other people do. You know, like I'm not going to give anything away for next year. We have been slowly chipping away at next year. We've got some really good news for all of that coming up, and can't wait to actually get that out to people. But it's the same thing for this year and next year specifically. I mean, the first year was me just sort of going, what bands would I really, really want to see? Because originally it was meant to be a one-off festival, like put it on, have a load of fun, put all my friends' bands on, and all these bands I really wanted to see. And then just, right, yeah, that was it. It was a good memory. You know, I can move on and maybe I can do something a little bit later down the line. Seeing how good it went, we just went, you know what, all hands on deck. Let's just pull out an absolutely stellar lineup to continue this. And between the two of us, we've just slowly crafted something that's fallen into place, should I say. Please don't fall into pieces. Not the festival.
That sounds like a band name.
It could be. I'll add that one to the list. But yeah, that's usually a case. It's going around seeing what new bands have started. I'll always give them the 10-second quick listen. If the first 10 seconds really grip me, then I just message them and go, "Do you want to open a show?"
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
all of the bigger names, it's you're like, can I get it? Can I get them here? Let me just throw it out there and see what works, and then sort of negotiate something with them, see what I can get over. And I think with Jacket again, it's the same sort of thing. We just go like, right, what other shows like haven't happened here? Obviously, there's also Flesh Fest that happens in Manchester, and now UK Slam Fest has moved to Manchester. So we work really closely with those two festivals to make sure that we don't clash with what they do, and vice versa, and whatnot. So they're probably the only other two people outside of us and maybe some friends that one of us has drunkenly told someone in the public because we're too excited to...
It was definitely me.
But yeah, it does tend to be like there's a lot of maneuvering around what other people are doing. If a festival booked them last year, I probably won't look at them for the next year. That might be something a bit down the line. So we don't want to look like we're poaching ideas off other people.
Mm-hmm.
And then it means that, every promoter who's doing something like this in Manchester comes off with a really solid lineup that we're all really happy with. And
keeps the market fresh as well.
No trodden toes and so on and so forth. So it's just a lot of wishing, a lot of hoping, a lot of begging and compromise.
Have you got any wish list bands or any that you've not quite managed to get yet that you're just thinking, if not next year, then the year after?
The most obvious answer that either of us could give is Devourment, because we've had people asking us since the get-go when we're going to be
Promotions doing that in London instead. Damn you for putting on one of the best shows I've ever been to.
That show was incredible. I think we both can say that we've been wanting to get Devourment for like the longest time. Everyone in the UK, every UK promoter wants to get them over. I think also like Brodequin would be an incredible one as well.
Brodequin would be amazing.
Yeah, personal ones for me, like a lot of like 90s death metal bands, like a lot of the bands that got me into extreme music a while ago, because that's kind of what the Torso Fuck tour was. It was wanting to put on like the first one, but also like it's stuff that we kind of listened to a long time ago. There's an endless list. I think Devourment's definitely up there. Brodequin's definitely up there. Like 90s New York bands like Skinless would be amazing. Just like the big names, like the stuff that we've been listening to for the longest time, but also know that the UK desperately want them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't know if Sam, you've got any others. Even just to add to that, I mean, a lot of them, I feel like I go down the Californian route a lot. So I mean, I'd absolutely like it. I mean, I know we've got to Violently Vomit. If I could ever get like actually just like Disgorge to play a show, I could happily. I'd just sit in the corner crying and smiling the whole time. Severed Savior, they've just come back. Absolutely love Severed Savior. They're an amazing band. I mean, Brodequin again would be a band I'd absolutely love to get out here. Malignancy, Pyrexia. There's loads of stuff. I mean, Putridity is a big one for me. I'd absolutely love to see them. Indecent. Anything on New Standard Elite is a win for me. They're an amazing
record
label.
Get some bands back. Like get some bands back together for shows. Like that's always a fantastic achievement to be able to do.
Yeah,
like ones that haven't existed for a long time.
I think Joe Mortimer holds the title for being able to do that. He's a silver tongue devil, is he?
He got amputated back, and nobody thought that was going to happen.
Yeah, no, that is true. He got Dawn of Chaos this year. He's been doing this for a while. He's the biggest inspiration for me wanting to do this. So, big shout out to Joe as well. Absolutely love that guy. He's fantastic and puts on some of the best shows I've ever seen.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So, what other plans have you got? I want to come back to Offal Fest and Unusual Horror in a bit, just to round things up, and as I said, I'll try and get this online as soon as possible and get a few more tickets out there for you. It's the main thing. But moving forward, as you said, you're already starting to plot and plan for next year. Have you got any other smaller events coming up in the meantime that you want to maybe let loose between now and the end of the year?
The next one that we've got confirmed is the 10-year anniversary of Visions of Disfigurement. Like old like local Manchester band, they've been going around obviously 10 years, Great friends of ours. On that show as well is Chainsaw Castration, their first show in 5 years. And I think it's also their 10-year anniversary as well. Also got 357 Homicide on the lineup. I believe Coprophagia as well. And Acid Vat. We both pre-COVID went to a lot of the 0161 Manchester extreme metal shows, and they were all like mates fests. Like, you knew everyone there, you were all great friends, and that's kind of what we want to do with this one, the one in October 26th. We want to just make it like a Manchester thing, but not just for the old mates. It's bringing in new people as well. It's just kind of sharing the love for the scene that has allowed us to do what we do.
So when's that taking place?
October 26th. That's the next one that we've got confirmed. And then Gormageddon, March. The date is, I can't remember the date off the top of my head because it's not announced yet. Yeah. But that's going to be coming back in March next year. I think it's one of the most ridiculous bills that we've ever thought up. And the fact that it might actually end up happening, it's going to be absolutely incredible.
Good. So, I mean, going to the ones you got coming out. So, Unusual Horror is this Friday. So, who's on the bill for that one?
Crepitation, absolutely incredible band, great friends of ours. Iniquitous Savagery, fantastic band as well. Absolutely amazing guys. Copper's Phallic Mutation.
Best band,
they're all right.
best band.
It's Sam's band. He's very biased. We've also got Ageless Summoning, who are absolutely phenomenal as well. Been wanting to see them for a while.
Yeah.
And we also have...
Autopsy.
What was that, sorry?
Necrophilic Autopsy.
Yep, one-man porn grind band from Bristol. I think he's
Cambridge.
Cambridge, yes. Absolutely fantastic as well. We saw them on the Torso Fuck tour. And Megafart, our good old Canadian banana.
And how much is the tickets for that one?
Currently 15 quid in advance. Tickets will go off sale probably on Thursday, but it'll be just 20 quid on the door, and you get to witness a load of incredible bands. Yeah. And also get a load of free stuff from Unusual Horror as well. I've just been launching stuff out into the crowd. Awesome.
I mean, that's a night out for 15 quid plus a few beers. I mean, come on, it's cheap, people. Okay, so if you're in Manchester and you want to see somebody called Megafart, I mean, just to be able to say you've seen somebody called Megafart on stage, that's worth 15 quid of anybody's money, frankly.
Absolutely.
And then, of course, we got Offal Fest at the end of the month, which is the larger events. And do you want to throw a few of the band names at us for that one?
Oh,
yeah. Coprophagia are playing that again. Type A Secreta, 2-man slam. Congenital Abnormalities from Ireland are playing. Slob, Puss Boyle from Switzerland, Cerebral Enema, Colpoclesis, Begging for Incest. Really looking forward to them. They're one of my favorite bands from Germany. Imperial Execration, that's their second ever show. They're absolutely phenomenal, brutal death metal. Then we've also got Amputated coming back. Cranium is a recent addition to the festival. Volvectomy are playing their first ever UK show at that one, and then to Violently Vomit to cap it all off.
Yeah.
Followed by an amazing after party full of DJs and the true geezer experience from Pint Glass.
Nice way to break up the day.
That'll be a nice one. So you can end it on some brutal riffs, some donk, some get your Stellas in.
Absolutely. We got the pre-show as well the day before.
We do.
Yes, yeah. Just on the Friday before in the evening. It's I can never pronounce the name. Chordotomy. Chordotomy are playing, who are going to be absolutely incredible. Operation Cunt Destroyer, fantastic band. They've got some incredible music, and like those guys absolutely never disappoint. Sam, do you want to take over the rest of it?
We've got Digora from London coming up for the first show in Manchester in quite some time. Amazing band. If no one knows them, please do get onto them. They are absolutely insane. Trenchfoot, which are an OSDM revival band from Liverpool. Really good friends of ours. Insane band. I can see them. I mean, they're absolutely fantastic when I've seen them, so I'm looking forward to seeing them again. There is a one-man band called The Butchered playing his first ever show. Sam Taylor from Pork Farm, who is from Bristol. not to be confused with Sam Taylor from Chainsaw Castration. They are both fairly tall and skinny, but one of them has hair and the other one has a beard and no hair. So
he's the distinction.
And then, I mean, should we?
Yeah,
announce
do it.
Yeah.
Do it.
So Dre will also be opening up that one. He's played with Megafart on this Friday, and then his other band, Body Shawarma, will be opening up that with a very chaotic, noisy set, which I am very looking forward to.
Yeah, we originally had a band, Kentucky Fried Corpses, that was supposed to be opening it, but sadly, due to like personal restrictions, that he's no longer actually able to come up. But thankfully, our incredible Canadian friend has stepped up to the bill and is happy to play as well.
Fantastic. And that's the 26th and the 27th.
It is, yes.
Smashing. So tickets available for that one still as well. What's the damage for that for the 2 days or the day and a half?
It's 35 for the main day, 20 for the pre-show. Combination tickets for both days are 50 quid. And considering that you're seeing 19 bands, that's less than £3 a band. Incredible saving in my eyes. On the day, the pre-show is 25 quid. And the main day will be 40. And if you want to, on the Friday, buy a ticket for both days, that'll be, I think it was 60. I can't remember off the top of my head, but yeah, just buy it in advance. It's cheaper. Yeah.
So buy in advance, save yourself a tenner. I guess if 19 bands, like as you said, I mean, you can't even buy a pint in most places for £3 anymore. I mean, that's the kind of prices that we're allowed.
Absolutely not.
Guys, I wish you all the best for all this stuff. Keep us in touch and let us know how it all goes, and particularly when you got some of those secret announcements for next year's events that you're being very tight-lipped annoyingly about at the moment. Do let us know. Tell us about that. We'll make sure people know about that. Folks who are watching this, particularly on our website, I'll get the ticket links off your Facebook groups, pages, adverts, whatever the heck, events, things. That's what I was looking for, and I'll shove them. Look at me being the official YouTube person, pointing to like where. Yeah, or if you're on our website, they'll be up there just to really just look around the video for the words and the clicky bits, and you'll get the tickets and stuff in advance for them. Guys, break legs. Do you still say people to break legs if they're organising things and not going on stage?
I mean, I'll break people's legs if you don't buy tickets. That'll be
awesome. There we go. Yeah, that's proper brutal extreme death metal. And Sam, you are going on stage, so please do break your legs. Make it part of the show.
Everything for the beauty of the art. That's the
smashing. I do apologise for any noise at the beginning. I'm dog sitting at the minute, and one of them is particularly cuddly, aren't you? Okay, there we go. So there you go. Those men are scary and will eat you if you don't eat them first. All right, guys, thanks very much for your time. We'll get this online as soon as we can. And don't lick the microphone. We'll catch up with you maybe in a year's time and let us know about next year's events.
Absolutely, mate. Thank you so much.
All right, you're very welcome. Take care, guys. Thank you so much.
Cheers.
See ya.
Cheers. Bye.